Would you believe me if I told you that what you're surrounding yourself with around and who you're with or what you're watching is really truly affecting how you are feeling and how you respond to what's going on? Affects your moods. It affects your mental health for sure. So, when the C-19 started and we all became very consumed in our TVs and seeing what was going on, it became very depressing for many because what's happening is all you're seeing is death, right? Well, the same effect goes for not only watching the news, but being around people, being around, being not around people. If you're one that isolates, that can really truly affect how you're feeling. I work with a lot of people that are like, I don't know why I'm sad, depressed, mad, lonely, feel lonely, or whatever. And I'm like, well, what are you doing all day? Well, I'm staying at home in my room all day long, never leaving. That might be the problem, right? So we really have to think about how everything externally affects us internally. And I would love to say that, you don't have to worry so much because, hey, you're going to be able to bounce through or get through anything no matter what's going on. But that's just not quite the case for most people. Um, I'm working with somebody currently, and what I found is that their environment is not productive for them. So therefore, their feelings of worthlessness and self doubt and wondering if they're okay, feeling sad and lonely and depressed, and all of the feelings. The reason they're feeling that is because that's what they're around. That's who they're associating with. That's what's going on around them. And so for me to really talk to them about changing that, I really have to have them search within because they need to figure out what is it that you're missing? What is it that's going on right now? For example, this person that I'm working with at this time, I'm like, okay, so if we look back on the past, when did you start feeling this? And they were able to, after some time, pinpoint when this happened. And I'm like, ooh, that was a long time ago. But what happened is that they would have highs and low from the people that they're around. So there would be really good times and then there would be longer times of bad, and it would go back and forth and back and forth. And so now they're at this point to where they don't know if they can pull through or find or get back to a happy point because it's been so long. It's been identified for about 6 or 7 years, and that's a long time to live in something to where you're not sure what you can do to make it positive or better, right? So we were talking, and I advised them this. I was like, if you can make yourself understand what it is you don't like, what you're not feeling good about, what you're not feeling comfortable in, where you're getting the mindset that everything is negative, maybe that will help us go forward, right? And so we're working on that. We're working on that journey. But, for the longest time, they would have never understood that part of the reason that they're not getting better is because of their surroundings. Somebody that they love, care, and, adore is part of the problem. And it's because the person that they love, care for, and adore has their own problems. And so it's just a cycle of negativity, right? So I told them today, I was like, you've got to be able to take care of yourself emotionally, you mentally, you have to love yourself really well because what's happened is this is the spiral effect, and I mention the news only because we think about, watching the news, sad depression, and sadness and depression, everything bad happening, but we don't think about everybody or everything else around us. Okay. I am one that if I'm around somebody that's sad, I'm feeling their sadness. I'm feeling their hurt and their pain. I am one that if I am around happy, outgoing people, normally I have no cares in the world and life is great. And I thrive off of that. It only makes me happy. So we have to think about that. And maybe if something's going on in your life, evaluate the situation and see where you're at and what we need to change or work on. Um, I say this for that. If you can identify, even if your situation is not going to change, okay, your environment's not going to change, right? You're still going to be with the one that you love and adore, but you want just to have a better feeling. You want to have more positive thoughts. It doesn't mean you have to leave that person. It doesn't mean you have to stop at all. It means that you need to realize what it triggered your start of feelings. And it means that you need to realize you need to do more good for you. Okay. So if that means you need to go for a few more walks, or you need to take a drive, or you need to talk to a friend, or you need to play a game, or, whatever it is, you need to find out those things that give you some hope or happiness or some feel good of the day, and do them daily. It doesn't mean that you're abandoning ship. You're not giving in and throwing in the towel. It means find a way for everything to work out together. And lo and behold, you might even see that your positivity, your in space in that environment may help change the mindset of others. Can't guarantee it, but maybe. You've got to present yourself. You've got to take care of yourself. You've got to monitor your situations and see what you can do to make that situation better. Okay. Um, I am 100% sure this person's not going to leave the situation, but I am probably 90% sure that they can get back to feeling okay. Okay. What's happened is that, identified about 6 years ago. Well, then, for the first 3 years, they just wallered in it and didn't really know what it is. And now, the next 3 years, they haven't been able to do much outside of what they've been doing because of illness concern or whatever. So it's just kind of hibernated and got worse to the point that they thought it was just their normal life. They didn't think about what they'd taken out of their life and what we need to put back into it. They need a fuel. Okay. And I can tell you that if we all think in this mindset, okay, so if you're sitting there and you're like, I don't know why every night I go to bed crying and sad after I watch the damn news, because you just watch the damn news and there's nothing good on there. So just shut it off. Just stop doing that. Okay. Or I don't know why I can't get the energy that I get when I'm running and exercising. Well, because you stopped doing that. So start that back up. You need to figure out where that changed and what you were doing then to be happy so that we can recreate some happiness now. Now, things may have changed. You might have been, 16 then, and you're 32 now. Things and periods have changed, times have changed. So different things might make you happy, but you have to really search within to find that. A lot of times people have a hard time doing that because they became basically cohesive with another. And that's where we lose ourselves and we start melding into this other person. And after so long, you become lonely or you become sad or you become depressed. Somebody says something, you start worrying, you're in therapy. And now I'm like, well, what were you doing when you were happy? Like, what did that look like? And so I really encourage you guys to not lose yourself. Okay. No matter your situation, no matter your surroundings, no matter what's going on. I mean, I can honestly tell you that, like, I believe that if I was living on the streets and homeless and just doing all the things that would be negative, I could find some positivity. I could know that I could still go take a shower and feel better for the day. I could still brush my teeth or whatever I need to do and find some positivity out of my day. I know that if I am around people that have the negative thought processes, the negative personas, I know that there's still something that I can think of or do that will make me not go to the point that they are, not match their energy. So I know this because I know how I feel and what makes me happy, right? Now, I can't say that if I would never fall into negativity, but I would hope that I could pull myself to find something. that is good, that I do like. Okay. So my concern for this is that I think many of us just, get married, get in relationships, get around friends, do what we need to do to meld to meet the needs of others and forget about ourselves. And I don't want that for us, people. I don't want us to forget who we are, what makes us happy, what we think, what we feel. I don't want us to do that. Okay. So we need to work on being aware of us. I've talked about it before, like filling your cup, making sure you're happy, you're good. I've talked about setting boundaries and being appropriate. I've talked about all of the things before, but how do we implement them if our environment is not helpful in that, right? What do we do? Okay. Well, for starters, so what I've advised this person that I'm talking to, I'm like, you need to do you, boo boo. You need to do you. Find something, do something that you miss doing. If it's going to the gym, go to the gym. If it is going for a walk, go for a walk. If it is coloring in a coloring book, color in a coloring book. If it is drawing, draw. If it is anything, find something. So my challenge for them this week is to find one thing that they used to do that they've totally not done. Okay. They've just pushed it away because they didn't find that inclusive for that whole environment. Okay. And I challenged them. I said, if you don't want to do what you used to do, find something new to do. Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys to do the same thing. If you're feeling like you're in a rut, if you're feeling like you're just kind of stuck, if you're feeling like nothing around you is going good, go back to your deepest, dearest, happiest thought and think about what you were doing, what was going on, and what made you feel happy to where you remember it today. Okay. Because believe it or not, if it's raining outside 365 days a year, even those people that are around that, they're most of them are going to be able to find something to do to make them happy. They're going to have things that they can do to make them happy, or people to talk to make them happy. Even people that are, I don't know, living like my person I'm talking to, they're living surrounded by nothing to them that feels happy, right? Well, if that was somebody that was like myself that continued to, think of something positive, they probably wouldn't have gotten that far today, right? So it was a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be hard. And it's part of the whole concept of taking care of yourself, thinking about yourself, um, and making sure your cup is full. Because right now, I can tell you, neither one of them in that environment are have a full enough cup to fill each other's cup. So maybe if we can start with the person I'm talking to and it can overflow, maybe that will help the other person's cup flow too, right? And I don't know if any of this has made sense, but basically what I'm telling you is that if you're in that point of questioning what's going on, feeling sad, lonely, feeling off, feeling confused, feeling blah, and you don't know how to get something back, a positivity back, a happiness back, what I need you to do is just really think about the past and what's made you happy before. Okay. And find yourself doing that. If if that doesn't sound appealing to you anymore, because for me, I know that at one point, um, exercising was like my happiness. Today, that doesn't sound appealing. So to me, I wouldn't go back to that because it doesn't sound appealing. But if I remember the fact that I like to swim, and so I would go swimming, just anything, or I like to spend time with my friends and that made me happy, or just whatever it is, I would pull to that. I think about my happiest time and do something with that. Um, I think that's the way that I can tell you guys to work through or start working through a lot of issues that we talk about: depression, sadness. There's even, like bipolar and um, there's a lot of disorders that people have that affect their moods. And I think that anytime that our moods are affected, we have to really pull from what we're wanting. And if you have to write it on a piece of paper and stick it on your wall or whatever, make yourself do something that you remember feeling happy with. Um, and I think that you'll see that if you do that on a routine, you incorporate that regularly, you will see that you'll see a positive change. So, I think that we often forget. That was a big sigh. That was weird. We often forget that we are in control of our feelings and what we're doing in life. And we do have a little bit of control there. So it's you do. You just have to dig within to find it. Okay. Um, and if you have any problems with that or have any questions with that, or you need to start, reach out. I'll be glad to help you with some information if I can. I think that it's going to be one of those things where in a situation, thus the person I'm talking to, they're going to have to make some healthy boundaries. We're probably going to have to go over that and figure out what their boundaries are. We're going to have to help them recognize the triggers to their feelings of sadness or worthlessness. We're going to have to give them new coping skills and abilities to process their feelings, and let it be okay. I think we're going to have to find new positive ways of thinking, new positive thoughts on themselves about things. So I know that it can be hard. It's not simple, but you can start somewhere without even stepping foot into an office to talk to a therapist if you wanted. But if you do have any questions, just reach out and I would gladly go over that with you and give you my thoughts on it, my ideas, just so you know. So just remember to keep yourself important and remember that you do have control of your situations and you don't have to leave the house or move to a different state always to fix things. Sometimes it's as simple as looking within. So I hope you guys have a great week. I will be back on Friday and have something different for you guys. So bye guys. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.